Ever feel like stepping onto the playground is like entering a whole different world? One minute it's all giggles and make believe, the next it's, well, utter chaos.
It's true. It can feel like navigating a social minefield out there. And for good reason.
And that's exactly what we're diving into today, your child's budding social circle.
Because, you see, those early friendships, they aren't just about who your kid shares their toys with or who they're racing down the slide with.
Right, right.
It goes way deeper than that. These early relationships, they're actually laying the groundwork for how your child will build relationships for years to come. We're talking about, communication,
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
empathy,
Yeah.
even their sense of self.
It's like their first foray into the real world.
Exactly. Their social skills boot camp. And it's fascinating because you can almost see those skills developing in real time.
It really is.
Huh?
So, to help us all make sense of it all, parents, caregivers, anyone who's ever witnessed a playground meltdown, we're turning to an article called Five Tips for Managing Your Child's Friendships. And I have to admit, that title, Managing, it sounds a little
A little intense.
intense. Like we're supposed to be out there, picking and choosing their friends for them, like some kind of friendship matchmaking service.
Right, like we're handing out applications and checking references. Don't worry, folks, that's not what this is about at all.
Okay, good. Because, phew, so if it's not about playing friendship police, what is it about?
It's about giving you, the parents, the tools to empower your child to navigate these friendships on their own.
Ah, I like that. Empowering them, not controlling them.
Exactly. And the article really zeroes in on open communication as the absolute bedrock of it all. Because
Mhm.
think about it. Your kid comes home from school, maybe you had a little tiff with a friend, maybe they're feeling left out. That's where this open communication becomes so crucial, right?
It's everything. I mean, think back to your own childhood. Just having that one person you could vent to without judgment, it's huge.
Right. And you don't necessarily need to have all the answers, to fix it all. Just creating that judgment-free zone where they can unload. You're their sounding board, not their interrogation officer.
Totally. And sometimes just saying it out loud helps you realize, maybe it wasn't as bad as it seemed in your head.
Oh, 100%. And speaking of realizing things, this next tip from the article is a game changer. Teaching empathy.
Oh, empathy. That's the magic word, isn't it?
It's huge. And research shows that kids who can tap into their friends' feelings, put themselves in their shoes, they're actually less likely to get into those big blowouts in the first place.
Interesting.
And if they do have a disagreement, they're much better at resolving it peacefully.
So, less playground showdowns, more peaceful resolutions. I like where this is going. But how do we actually teach empathy? Is there like a magic formula? Do I say, empathy, empathy, make my child see?
I wish it were that easy. No, it's more about subtle guidance and modeling. So, for example, your child comes to you upset about something a friend did. Instead of immediately jumping in with solutions, well, you should say this, or I'll go talk to their mom. Try this. I wonder why your friend might have said that.
Ah, okay, I see. Shifting the focus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it gets them thinking about that other perspective. It's not just about their hurt feelings. It's about understanding where the other person might be coming from.
That's so important. And you know what else? I think about how we as parents, how we handle our own relationships,
Oh, absolutely.
because that's the biggest model for our kids, right?
It's huge. Our kids are little sponges. They're absorbing everything.
They are. They're watching how we navigate disagreements with our partners, with our friends, even how we talk about people who aren't in the room.
It's true. It's all sinking in,
Yeah.
even when we don't realize it.
Exactly. So, yeah, the way we handle our own emotions, the way we treat people, it's a powerful unspoken lesson. Okay, moving on. The article also talks about supporting problem solving, which seems pretty crucial.
Oh, it's essential. Because as tempting as it is to swoop in and fix every little squabble,
Oh, I know. Easier said than done sometimes, though, right?
it is. But trust me, it's so worth it to resist that urge to always play referee.
Right.
Because we're not doing them any favors in the long run.
We're not teaching them anything that way, are we?
Exactly. We're not giving them the tools to navigate these situations on their own.
So it's about giving them the tools.
Yes. It's like we're building their emotional toolkit.
I like that. What would that look like, though, practically?
So say, again, your child is upset about something with a friend. Instead of just saying, well, you tell your friend X, it's more like, okay, well, what do you think would happen if you said Y?
Ah, giving them ownership over the situation.
Yes. Help them brainstorm solutions. You can even role play different scenarios. Okay, let's pretend I'm your friend and you say this to me. How do you think I would react?
Oh, that's a good one. I like that. Role playing. And I'm sure that's something they can even do with their friends sometimes, too.
Absolutely. And then the last point the article brings up, which I think is so important, is respecting your child's choices in friends.
Okay, this is a big one. Because what about those times when, you have concerns about a particular friendship? What do we do then?
Well, first, respecting their choices doesn't mean just letting anything go.
Right. There are boundaries.
Exactly. It's about, again, that gentle guidance. It's not about you dictating who they can and can't be friends with.
Right, right.
It's about having those open and honest conversations. Maybe you've observed some behaviors that worry you. You can say, hey, I've noticed this. What do you think about that?
So instead of saying, I don't like that friend, it's more like, hey, I've noticed this.
Exactly. Because remember, our goal isn't to control their social lives.
Right.
It's to equip them with the skills they need to build healthy relationships.
Because ultimately, this isn't just about who they're hanging out with on the playground. It's about so much more than that.
It really is. These early friendships, they're shaping their understanding of trust, of loyalty, of healthy communication.
Wow. When you put it like that, it really does make those playground dynamics seem a lot more significant. And it's got me thinking, how much of our own friendship intelligence, for lack of a better term,
Interesting.
influences how we guide our own kids in their friendships? Definitely something to ponder.